time of the week, where the hottest Kenyan millennials jazz up your afternoon with their refreshing live talk show. You are now tuned in to the 254 Millennial Talk.
It's not even my birthday.
What's up? You wanted to... Is there something you wanted?
If I get a coffee, if I get a soda, what would do the job better?
But give me a sec.
David, do you ever like go to sleep, then wake up like an hour later and be like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I feel
Nah,
okay.
bro.
Then 5 hours later, you just collapse.
Nah, bro. Me.
Yeah.
If I sleep for 1 hour, okay, I've had those days when like I sleep for 1 hour and I tell my I can just see that I'm not going to go back to sleep at this point.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not good. I'm like in 5 hours, I'm gonna crash. So let me just.
The position I'm in, bro. Hey, bro, I was feeling it. You know, you start cooking up theories in your head. Maybe you don't really need all that sleep, you know? How do I feel so? Bro.
I can't. I'm a zombie without sleep, man. I need sleep.
An hour
I
ago,
can't operate without sleep.
you just hear the handbrake noise, bro. You know it's over now.
So basically, you're saying you're gonna sleep halfway through this podcast.
No, the thing. Okay, so let me break it down. Yeah. So I was up until like 5 working on something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to bed. I prayed. Then I went to bed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was woken up at 7 to do some shit. Like an hour later, literally. Yeah. Then I'm like, you know what, bro? I'm easy. I might. Okay, reached 11. I zimikad, bro. I was reading.
No, but you see that one, you're woken up and you like, while you're doing your shit, like if the sleep just disappears.
It just disappeared then, bro. It came back. So I've
at that
slept for
point.
like, I slept at like 1. And now I woke up like, 40 minutes ago.
Bro.
And I somehow feel worse than when I was going to sleep.
Oh, yeah, man.
Anyway, boys.
Because you slept for like
know.
4 hours only.
No, we are live by the...
Oh, but
Yes. See, Nani said, the actor said he started his stream.
Yeah, I've started. It's fine.
As a responsible individual, that is not me. I'm not talking about myself. This is a story I'm retelling.
Anyway, it's okay, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the 254 Millennial Talk. Hopefully your week has been okay. It's bloody fucking hot, as always, because it's January. But yeah.
Well, not where I am. Where I am,
Hey,
it's been
bro.
raining, bro. This
Hey,
weather is-
Kwani, where you at, man?
Valley Arcade, bro. The weather is shifty, man.
Hey!
It's been hot till like 3 p.m. Then all of a sudden the rain just comes out of nowhere. I don't know.
I went to sleep. It was raining on my side. It's still raining. You never know.
Hey, sisi watu wa
This
Juja.
this weather is bipolar, man. Oh, Juja hakuna mvua.
Ay, man, it's dry, man. Dude, it's so dusty out. I can't even fucking go out, man. It's just not even. It's just bad.
This weather is shifty, man.
Yeah, but I think it's because of
Shifty
the.
as,
It might be because of the
conversation
moon.
we're about to discuss, huh?
It might be because of the moon. You know, the moon affects sometimes. If you've never noticed, I don't know if you've ever noticed, like during the end, like when you're nearing the end of the month, there's usually like a period of rain, and normally it's because like when the moon is up. I don't know. There was I studied geography. There was something in geography to do with that. So
I
maybe
know
that's
I
why.
know the moon affects
The
like
tides.
tides in the ocean and stuff,
Mhm.
but maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Probably. But anyway, as you can hear, guys, the gang is here. Hopefully, Leo, my stream does not act up. By the way, I'm live on Twitch also. So if you feel like you don't like the quality on YouTube, you can always go and follow us on Twitch. And again, this show is converted to a podcast after every episode. So make sure you follow us on your various podcast listening platforms of choice. So that is Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, Google Podcast. I think we're almost everywhere. For the people listening on the pod, also live on YouTube every Saturday, 5 to 6 p.m. That is Kenyan time. GMT +3. I think that's our time zone. So I can see Wayne in the comments. Hi, what's up? Yeah, man. So I think Davey has already mentioned the organization we're about to talk about today. This What is this thing, by the way? Me, najua, Karano is the first person who ever mentioned this organization. I never knew it existed, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this, like not knowing this organization existed. So, what is this? You guys have an answer for that?
Oh, I assumed Karano would say something, but he's muted. Let me say,
Karano he's told me he's busy. He's kind of busy, so
okay.
Mm.
Okay, so ESKF, Esports Kenya Federation, started back in 2018. Just very low key, they came out of nowhere. It's basically just I think the CEO or whoever runs that federation went to the Ministry of Sports and got that stuff sorted. Like you can go to the Ministry of Sports and register an association federation for like a county association or whatever. Like if it doesn't exist already, like you can register it under your name. So I'm assuming that's what happened with this federation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, came out of nowhere, ran a contest like to design a logo for them or whatever. Some chick won and they gave her an MSI laptop, and since then, nothing basically. So I've met the CEO once in person. His name is Bavon Ojuang. I've met him once in person. He's as far as his personality, like he's a decent guy, like just a reasonable person in terms of like his personality. Like he's not disrespectful or anything, but just behind the scenes is obviously like a lot of things that are unclear. Like he's been in the media a lot of times talking about starting an esports league back in 2019. That didn't happen. Again, 2020, that didn't happen. I remember there's this one time they were on, I think I can't remember if it was KBC or which station. It was him, a bunch of guys on there talking about esports. It was Bavon, Kuinaro, this guy for Usiku Games. What's his name again? Jay Shapiro, I think his name is, and someone else who I'm forgetting. And I could see the stuff he was saying on air, like Kuinaro and this other guy were like, I'm not too sure. Lakini si unajua huwezi choma like on national television.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of those situations where hutaki kuanika mtu on live TV and cause a scene or whatever. But yeah, like it's been a lot of shiftiness happening behind the scenes. And yeah, like you said, no one really knows what's going on with that federation. Like it's just this entity that exists that has a purview over esports in Kenya that no one really knows about in terms of the structure, like or whatever. So.
Oh, okay. You've given us detailed info, bro. Me, I did not know all of these things.
Bro,
but
si tuko industry, but now we have to do this.
I mean, that's why you're on the show, man. Because, but what? All right. Wait, I think there's someone new here. Nick.
Yeah, Nikki is an esports guy as well.
Yo, Nick, I don't think he's been on the show before. Hey, what's up, man? Is his mic working? But I mean, the other guys. Sorry.
Mute himself. Yeah, I don't know if Hirsi has had encounters with Bavon before. Like,
bro, all I've seen, it's funny, right? Because the whole thing was like, I heard about it when it first started. Because the promo they did, they're pushing it very hard on social media when they started that promo for the logo. Bro, it was everywhere. Like I would literally watch an ad for it, skip the ad, then see the ad again, type thing. So like it was pretty hard to miss. And like also my end says there's a lot of promo, so I was very hopeful about it. I remember I even asked you, Davey, about this shit way back when it first popped up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, it like I was like, what's this? Then like Davey was like, you know what? It's a I had government register. I'm like, yeah, okay. This was not going too far. It's like generally, it's like I think with the Esports Federation and what we know right now, it's like generally, when it's something that pertains to you, you're generally more hopeful about it. But like the way I saw it, like in the grand scheme of things, if you look at everything else, every other quote unquote federation run by the government, the majority of them are just either one, out of touch with the actual like what's actually happening,
Mm-hmm.
or two, it's for like other reasons apart from actually growing or maintaining a scene, you know. So it's like, I mean, if it works out, it's cool,
Mm-hmm.
but like I generally wasn't too hopeful about it.
But I mean, okay, me
But
to be honest.
it was like I had a like I don't know why, but like based on like how they're doing the promo and everything, it's like okay, cool. They it's like a I think I could just put let me put it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of a nuanced angle to look at it from the beginning. This is my opinions at the beginning. What happened after that? I think Davy James would be way more, a better people to ask was they actually met the guy and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like from like the beginning, like my opinion of it was okay, cool. Finally there's some sort of organization, because that's the one thing the scene lacks. Because like it's one of those things where like the gaming scene generally in Kenya is massive. Like everyone plays games, bro. Like the number of times you just walk around, like you see your neighbor, like what's up, how you doing, bro? Like cool. Like you just talking, like yeah, I want to go play some FIFA with the boys. Like okay, everyone plays. So like, the biggest issue was bringing everyone together. So having like a situation where there's like an organization, that's always a welcome thing. But
Yeah.
it's like when they started off, it's like they have a logo design competition. Right? It's like okay, cool. They're giving out a Messiah laptop. Yeah, this is cool. But here's the problem with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know who was running it. Yeah.
Who?
No one. They didn't reach out to anyone in the scene. Like actually nobody. Like nobody.
Ah.
Like if I say right now I want to start the Kenya Federation for Cattle Herders,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I should probably do is talk to some cattle herders.
Mm-hmm.
So
If
it's
you
like
if that's if you're going to be reasonable about it and you actually want to, like, you actually have a vested interest in that area.
it's
Like I said,
precisely yes, exactly.
like I said earlier, like you can go to, if there's a county association or federation for a particular sport that doesn't exist, you can go to the Ministry of Sports and register it under your name. You pay for a county association, you pay 10,000, and you go through a certain process, and boom. So I'm assuming, again, like I said earlier, I'm assuming that's what happened with this federation. That's why there was no, as Hirsi said, there was no consultation with anyone in the scene, or like or anything like that. I feel like it was probably more of a business move, um, in terms of, going to certain sponsors or investors, like, look, I have the National Esports Federation under my name, blah, blah, I run this, blah, blah, blah. And that's a lot of leverage, you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's when Rooney.com was taken. Rooney had to go through his lawyer to go to this guy and be like, Cheki, mi nataka hii domain.
Okay,
Like,
You've
it's a whole
reminded me.
situation, yeah.
You've reminded me an interesting story about like even like Nasdaq tips because they have this video platform called Floatplane. They were saying the name was owned by the son of a Freemason, so they had to like go through a lot of shenanigans to just like buy the domain to the name.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey man, the internet was weird, but that's crazy. They went
so
Rooney.
just to finish up like my general like point from the whole thing, like the way it started a bit funny,
Mhm.
right? But generally with me, with anything esports, because like the bar in terms of any form of support that is not like a direct thing for like a company coming and saying, yo, we want to work with you guys, is very low. Like people just, no one, I don't think people are willing to like go out on a limb and try help the scene unless they have a vested interest. So I'm like, okay, cool, it's an organization, yeah. I mean, I hope for the best, but like, okay, what's a logo competition? Like, okay, maybe like even if you're the Kenya Federation for the Arts, cool, yeah. But bro, I
But
play
even
games on
then-
a controller. I can't do anything.
But even then, like, aside from involving gamers with that logo competition, the way I saw it was like, this is a PR thing. Obviously, it's like
Yeah.
a way for them to announce themselves, and then maybe they go
Mhm.
into what they're supposed to do with esports,
Mhm.
So that was that. I think anyone could see that was more of a PR thing, which there's nothing wrong with. Like, if
Yeah.
you're trying to announce yourself and generate, interest in, and generate a buzz or whatever, it's a good idea. But
Yeah.
after that, now what happens?
Nikki fixed his mic. Nikki, what's up?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but let me tune your
Yes, sir,
volume
yes,
here.
sir.
See, Give me a sec.
Okay.
I think Nikki has never been on the show, but then I never introduced you guys. I mean, but you guys are regulars at this point. Davey was here last show, but one. Heresy has been here before. Carano is a regular. Slatibanis is one of the co-hosts.
Okay.
So yeah, man, Nikki, welcome to the 254 Millennial Talk.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Or should I introduce myself?
Yeah. Introduce your. You don't have to fully, but just maybe, tell us who you are.
Blood type, birth certificate, ID number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Nick Kibe. I'm from Kilifi. That's where I was born and raised. Still here at the moment, and I'm the founder of Alpha Clan Esports. It's an esports team based here at the coast.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is basically we're just a team, and we organize small tournament at the Kenyan coast. So that's just a brief.
Interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
Alpha
I've
Clan
never
wamekuwa
heard.
wakishikilia huko coast, man. That's
I've
the-
actually
they've
never
been
heard of
doing
them.
the
I'm
thing.
hearing of them today, man. So,
Yeah, man, they've been doing the thing for. You guys started in like 2019, sindio?
Yeah, 2019. Yes.
Yeah,
2019.
yeah, they've been doing their thing, man. We've been silently observing here in Nairobi.
good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff, man.
Actually, we did esports because I felt kind of there's a lot happening in Nairobi and less happening at the coast because of tumelag sana nyuma. So I decided to take up the challenge and just at least do something within the area, at least so that we're not left so much behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what are your grievances with this, or how did you come across with this EF whatever EFK
Yeah,
EFKF?
I kind of I actually saw it on social media first, just like Hisi and David Kamanzi said. We saw a logo competition. We saw there's a new body, and we didn't know who was actually in it. So we just we just happened to know afterwards that there's a body, and the only person we know to date is one guy called Bavon Adon. We've seen him in social media. We've seen him in the Gazette. It was gazetted at some point. We've seen him in media houses, and he's actually the face of the federation. So I was kind of interested because on my side, I feel the esports scene or the esports agenda in the country should be pushed as we should be one unit when pushing the agenda. So I decided let me try to dig in to know who is involved, who is behind the scene. So it took me a while actually. I went to the office of the sports register. No. Let me not go there first. Let me backtrack kidogo nyuma.
Wait, let me cut you off, Cassie. Let me cut you off. And then how Jane, I can see you saying in the comments will be EFKF will be the new tax collector for gamers. Try it. What's up? But I was to ask, so this chick who won the tournament, is she like a gamer?
No, she's an artist. See, it was a logo competition.
Oh,
She's a graphic.
They lobbied. Yeah, she's a graphic designer. Like they had a bunch of people do different designs, and they essentially picked the best design they gave her the MSI laptop. Like I said, they worked with this company called Flukes. I don't know if you've heard FLOOKS. I think it's like is it a betting company, something like that? I can't remember.
I don't think I know them.
But Flukes are the ones that essentially sponsored that prize. Like they bought the laptop and everything. And
of course.
Yeah, so that Mama is it's graphic designers. It was a competition for graphic designers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Nikki, now you can continue. Sorry for that. I just needed to understand that bit.
So my first encounter with this so-called CEO of Esports Kenya Federation in about last year, September. There was a what is it called? A beach market. It's something that usually occasionally done at the coast. We call them beach markets. You come with your items, sell them at the beach. So we had a beach market, and we thought, hey, why not do esports at the beach? As in gaming at the at the beach will be awesome. So we decided let's do it. So I was in contact with the organizer of the event. It was called the Kilifi Beach Market,
Mm-hmm.
and the organizer of the event actually told me, by the way, um, the pioneer of esports is actually our cousin. So that's how I got into contact with Bavon.
Mm-hmm.
So the
That's
organizer
very
of the
interesting.
yeah,
Pioneer.
He's our cousin.
Pioneer.
so in my head I was like, oh, Bavon, I do know him.
Sylvia.
So so actually that's how I got to know Bavon. So we didn't talk actually that time. We actually didn't talk over that period. We didn't happen again to also be in the beach market, mainly because the organizer, so-called, I won't say the name, the organizer alihepa
Mad thing.
ali.
Typical.
Interesting, yeah.
Kama kawaida.
Mad thing.
They be birds of the same feather. So this is the cousin, the organizer of the Kilifi Beach Market. So there were people who had paid for, zinaitwaje hizi
Stalls,
the
ama.
stalls and stuff. Watu wametoka as far as Nakuru bana. Nakuru. Someone came with a lorry, came on the D-Day and found there was nothing. Kulikuwa na supposedly tents zimekuwa set up and there was nothing. So that was my first contact. That was the contact person to the man I know as the CEO of the federation. So after a while, I forgot about that story, and for a very long time, because I love gaming. I've been gaming for a while, and the thing about esports is I find esports interesting in that I connect with my purpose because I have a passion for the young people, and so I was saying that we are kind of we have all the
Umecut off kiasi
sorry
Uganda?
okay
Ulikuwa umecut off. And
sorry.
Haujin ameniambia nikusalimia. He says he's in Mombasa.
I didn't see that. Well, nimesalimika.
Mm-hmm.
So as I've said, I connect esports to my purpose because I'm passionate about the young people, and I feel Kenya should be way ahead in terms of, as in if I measure up to where we are, I feel that we should be way ahead. So I've been, for a very long time, I wanted to for the esports scene in the country to be united, in that all esports entities be under one roof. So if you're pushing for the esports agenda, we push as one unit. So my approach was, okay.
No, just continue. Sorry.
So my approach was that I contact first the Esports Kenya Federation, and because I did have Bavon's number, but I just wanted to dig, just get to know. So I went to the office of the sports registrar. I can't remember. It's somewhere around Milimani Law Court, NSSF building actually.
Yeah, that's what
24th
it
floor.
is. Yeah.
So I did go there, and I just wanted to know, when I just mentioned the name Esports Kenya Federation, the office went bizarre. Everybody looked at Easy, and I was just inquiring, can I make, if you want to make an inquiry and check the books, you have to pay 500, which is a requirement. So I didn't pay that particular day, but the reception I got at the office just told me a lot about this, made me put a lot of questions on the Esports Kenya Federation. There was a lot of questions. There was a lot of questions lingering in my mind concerning this particular federation. So I actually wanted to see the registrar herself. And when I just mentioned the name, and when the office was uneasy, the secretary said, I'm sorry, you can't meet the registrar. She's just leaving. She was so uneasy, man. So that's when I realized this Esports Kenya Federation could just be deep state.
Actually,
So, anyway,
on the stream I'm showing. Actually, I can see I've opened their Facebook page. I can see Kilifi Beach Market. I can see your thing there.
yeah, you can see it. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
But their social media is kind of dead. In fact, this is what I gave me question marks. I was like, for something that seems to
So
represent gamers, like I don't see a lot of activity on their social media stuff. Continue.
I actually wanted on that particular day we have a tournament. So actually didn't happen. In fact, I didn't pay. I wasn't among the particular vendors. Walikoniwa. So I'm grateful for that. Anyway, back to the story of visiting the office. The office was actually there's a lady who really helped me a lot. She was really helping out with information and everything, and she told me, there are a lot of opportunities. You can register county associations, you can register all these things, and then, funny enough, 2 days later, a bunch of 40 guys flock into the office asking for applications for county associations. To this date, I'm asking myself who those people are. Just a bunch of
Bro, like I said at the beginning,
yeah.
if there's a county association, if a county association for a particular sport doesn't exist,
Yes, you can.
you pay 10 Gs and you go through a particular process and it's yours basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Turkana County Esports Association at this point. It's like
People are hustling.
because like I said, that's leverage. When you go to an investor and say I run a county esports association, that's a lot of leverage. It's like I'm mini ndani ya gavam say.
True.
So that's big business.
That big business, exactly. So I was actually perplexed that 40 guys are a lot of people. We're only remaining with seven counties that haven't supposedly taken applications. I assume those are Mandera and places you go remote. Anyway, I still go on and try to look for the man himself, and we did have we have been talking for a while. Till now, we're still in engagement because I'm still yearning, and we sisi wenye tuko kwa, let me say, you've been in the industry for a while, kina Divi, kina Hisi, and guys from other esports entities were really left. A lot of questions were in. We still have a lot of questions because if you're a federation who have just registered, isn't it noble for you to involve the community, get to know who are the players, who are the most prominent players, work with them, come up with policies and a structure and a good system, because for me that's the only way we can proceed as a country, having a system, having structures in place, having policies in place, having code of conduct, and just having a good structure. But sasa here you're a federation, you do not have a structure. We only know one guy, of which I do have a list. I do have a list of the officials. I won't expose it.
Apparently, the only ones I know of the CEO, who's Bavon, and apparently is also a chairman. But
Yeah, there's a chairman.
I don't know about anyone else in that.
There's a chairman, a secretary, and a treasurer. I just know of those three.
So standard government structure,
Also,
basically.
Surprisingly,
like,
he's before you talk.
would you say,
Surprising.
we did, yeah.
Surprisingly, Bavon is not on the officials list. He's not anywhere as a member or as a part of the management committee. He is nowhere. So it even raises more questions,
That's very interesting.
Let me
That's
play
weird,
devil's
no?
advocate for a second here, yeah?
Yeah.
What would you do if you were trying to make a quick buck off a certain sector, right? For example, let me put you guys in a position, right? The 3-4 of you, right, are running the national you guys are slap boxers, okay? So I go and register the National Slap Boxing Association, right? I never talk to you guys, and all you know about me is the fact that there's something that's registered somewhere, right? I could literally go to the government, get funding, and no one would ever know apart from me, myself, and I, because I literally have no. Bro, for all we know, who could be trying to promote esports in the country, yeah, by funneling money into a certain sector, but no one can find out, because there's no accountability, because we don't even know the people, actually know them, right?
Yeah.
But
So you're
that aside,
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
So from what I've gotten from this conversation is, so this Bavon guy is like the face, but there's like some
He's the face of the organization, but there's a team behind him.
there is some
Apparently.
voodoo. Huh?
Let me say apparently, because no one really knows. Nick has a list, but again, like the information is very sparse. Like they used to have a website, it's gone now. As you've said,
I've
as you've
tried
seen,
actually.
they have
I've tried it actually on the stream and it wasn't working. The Instagram is dead. Facebook, same case, dead.
yeah. So information is extremely limited. Like the most anyone knows is Bavon and maybe the chairman.
But I mean,
There's
Hersi has
even a
a.
day. There's even a day. My colleague at Ace, Fanuel, he was given a certain address by I think it was Bavon or the chairman. He was supposed to go there and like set up a meeting or something. This was Fanuel. It was supposed to be this place in Hurlingham or whatever. But when he got there, like he's asking around, no one knows of the address. I forgot, the building was supposed to be called. Like it like as far as the information he got from people around that area, like it doesn't exist. So like I said, no one really knows. Like the information is very limited. Like the engagement has been very limited. So yeah.
But I mean, do you feel like this is something? But to back up Hersi's point, I do think that this might be, maybe this proved as an opportunity for someone with ill intentions to use like the name of esports as a way to funnel. It might be a theory, but I just think that might be the fucking truth, because
it's not. It wouldn't be far-fetched though, given how things have progressed so far.
But I mean
there were. Sorry, go ahead. Let me say what I want to say after you finish. Just go ahead.
But I mean, it's not only esports. I mean, under there's this section above us called references. I posted like stories on athleticism and like athletics, the running guys and the issues they've been facing, and the corruption allegations in the soccer department also. So it seems that there's people who are clearly hell-bent on taking advantage of this sector, because it's not really like a sector that has been in the limelight for, like, it's not a it's
in terms of a structured industry, it's virtually non-existent. Like
yes, those are the exact ones actually. So yeah, man, I mean, if you ask me, maybe I do believe what if you ask me, like, I do believe Hersi's point is quite valid. I do think, for me, I do actually fucking think someone saw this as an opportunity to siphon my. You never know, man. People have creative ways to.
If someone is listening and you're from there, this is not a claim I am making. This is just a theory. This is not slander. This is not slander. This does not count.
Avoiding that litigation real quick.
Bro, it's just a theory.
It's a theory. He theorized.
But again,
baseless claim.
But again, given how things have progressed so far, it's not a far-fetched theory,
But it doesn't make sense.
Like, given progressed with this federation so far and how things have gone with other sports federations historically in this country, it's not a far-fetched theory.
We have to understand where we're coming from. Yeah, as a country, we take our runners to the Olympics. They win us gold medals, then we leave them there. Like, it's like the expectations were low to begin with, but somehow we still managed to undershoot it.
Jesus, man.
Somehow we still it's like the bare minimum. Like, I don't expect like, okay, yeah, we have a federation now. Like, here, okay, here's $1 billion to funnel into the scene. We'll build you
like the bar.
Like, the bar is very low. Like, high.
The bar was so low. All he had to do was just like step over it. But even that,
we went the other way. Like, just say hello. It's one of those things. Like, it's like, the esports. You know what we should do? Let's talk about the esports scene in Kenya for the people who are not aware. Because I know it's a lot. It's kind of hard for people who are coming to listen to this now or later to understand the current situation of the scene. With most countries, if you start something up, support is a secondary thing. Yeah, facilitation is always the first thing, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say I want to start like a badminton society. I could get my rackets and my nets and set up at a local park, and no one will bother me, right? Now, the situation in Kenya, for most part, like if you don't live in like, even if you live in some parts of Nairobi, like I've heard of stories of, it was on the news. Some kids got arrested for playing FIFA. Like, it's
I saw that
it's
actually.
it's like not only do you get no support, your progress is hindered by stuff that does not make any sense. Like you'd think,
And situations like that, the exact sort of thing the federation is supposed to be
Exactly.
lobbying against, so
just speak up. You're a federation, you're registered, you have some form of, it's just not Hirsty coming into a government office and making noise. Like I'll just get dragged up by the first AP office and like I haven't done anything.
And that's a,
But
but
as
that's a,
opposed to,
but that's a very, to acknowledge what you two have said. That's a very good point. Like, where the fuck was this organization when people were being arrested for playing fucking games? And then, I don't know. I think Karano James is gone. He's told me. I think he got held up. He tackled. He showed. I think he talked about it in one of his videos in his channel. So it's a very good point. Like, where the fuck was this organization when such stuff is happening? When people are confusing betting with gaming. So where is this
the
organization to
funny,
speak out?
the interesting thing is,
Mm-hmm.
in some of the media appearances Bavon has made, is claimed to have
Mm-hmm.
lobbied certain government officials and told them that tried to sort of go in that direction, but this that and the other reason things haven't progressed or whatever. But like when you just watch what he's saying, like it's hard to believe.
But I mean,
Like
even if
because
okay,
words are one thing, but like
yeah.
even let me let me after the first time I met him, I remember this very very clearly. I met him with my colleagues, a race of Fanuel, Payne, Jairus. The four of us met him in CBD. And when we left the meeting, the first thing Fanuel said, word for word, was, "I can smell bullshit from a mile away. This guy is bullshitting us."
ah, okay.
That's essentially what he said.
But wait, let me ask you. Let me backtrack
So
a little bit. So even if he's claiming that and he lobbied, like did he contact you guys? Like, because you guys are like the, you see, he did not. He did not come on like a platform like Discord where there's like a billion gamers who and asked us like, hey, I'm trying to lobby against this. Could you guys, maybe if you guys have a about this, like, this is what you were saying earlier. Like, this organization doesn't even, like, who the fuck even knows this thing exists in the first place?
Here's the interesting bit. Like, look, any one of us, who've been like in the scene for a while, could very easily go up and like, okay, let me go register an organization, or I make some like an overseeing body, right? But you know what that does? Like, even like if I was approached right now and I was told, do you want to be the head of whatever, the federation or whatever it may be? Yeah, that's a very fast no, because it's like there's trying to help the scene out is one thing. Yeah, but being the responsible force helping out the scene is a complete other one. Because it's like, if you're calling yourself like the Esports Federation of Kenya, yeah, like that's the man. That's the person you talk to when things are wrong, when things need to be fixed. That's what a federation is. Like, it's a body that stands for the collective. Yeah, and it's like, the way they handled it, okay, look, maybe the intentions were good. Now let's look on the flip side. Let's look at the flip side of this whole thing. Because right now, we've just talked about, these guys are thieves. They're trying to rob the scene, whatever. Let's look on the flip side. Yeah, and I think this would be a much, if anyone's listening or whatever, if you want to start the Esports Federation of Kenya 2 or something, yeah, we should, what would we want from a federation? I think that's something else that we need to like.
no, listen.
address.
Just remember, this is something I was gonna say earlier when I briefly cut you off, the
Yeah.
actor.
It's fine.
Um, there's been guys have been, and Nick knows this as well. There's been discussions behind the scenes. Hirsi, you should know this as well because you're in that Esports Kenya group,
Yeah,
WhatsApp group.
yeah.
There had been a lot of discussions around like how to approach these guys and sort of potentially come to an agreement where just come to an understanding in terms of like, what do you guys do, what have you been doing, what's your plan going forward, and we want to be involved. How can we get around that? And like
Was it like a meeting set up that never came to
there
fruition?
was a lot of plans that Brian Baraza of PSG was drawing up. Then he passed away, RIP. Rest in peace. So he was Baraza was the one spearheading a lot of those efforts. There had been a lot of discussions behind the scenes in terms of how to approach that exact situation that Hirsi described, in terms of potentially starting a parallel federation slash association, whatever. Because I mean, everyone at this point knows that like it's that ESKF has been very shady from the beginning. Like there hasn't, like I said before, information has been very sparse. But at the same time, like outright going out and starting another body, like would cause even more problems in terms of like now trying to lobby the government and stuff. It's like, but see, we have this agency here already. You go through them, and that just creates even more problems. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of discussion around like how do we come to an understanding with these people and get them to involve us in the process. And if that doesn't work, then how do we move forward? There was talks about an alliance, a certain I forget what name Baraza gave it, but there are talks about a potential alliance being formed that would be used to lobby the government and things like that. But again, like a lot of those efforts have been slowed down with Brian Baraza's unfortunate passing. But yeah, it's a tricky situation, man. It's a really tricky one, because at this point, like Bloody Actor said, like nothing has been happening. But again, just outright going sidestepping them just creates even more problems. So like, now do we move forward?
Though I might support the idea of like a parallel organization. Maybe if there was another body keeping this other one in check, it might be not necessarily like tied to the government, but because I think it's much more easier for like an organization or like an alliance of people to be heard than for an individual. But these are just my thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know.
But again, it's about like weighing the pros and cons of creating a situation like that.
Okay.
Again, I would only support that if a meeting is had with these people and no agreement has been come to, like mmekaa chini mmejaribu kuongea and like there's just nothing, there's no progression, there's nothing, then in that case, like there's no other choice but to start a parallel organization.
I don't know. Me, if you guys will start one, I'll be in, man. I'll be in. Like,
that's a good idea. But now here's the issue, right? There's an underlying issue with that, and the problem is this: if we make a body to check them out, but here's
There's
the point,
hardly
right?
anything to
We
check
can't even get into
begin with.
contact with them to begin with. Like, we don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they stand for. Like, it's like, yeah, cool, there's a federation, like there's some claims being made. We have no way to verify the claims. It's like, it's one of those things where, like, no one ever references ESKF for anything, right? We just talk about it when we're talking about what we like the federation. The only time we talk about it is on, like, basically a podcast like this where the topic is them, or like when we're just like, yo, but hey, whatever happened to those goons? Like, what are they up to? So
to be fair, there's a few TOs that have gotten like a license from like Virtual Games HQ. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
They started in late 2020, like walianza na Steam mingi, like gave out 800 and something thousand in prize money over the space of 2 months or something like that. And now it's kind of just ground to a halt. Like I don't really hear much about VGHQ anymore. But the point I'm making is, like, they got a license from ESKF. to do their thing, and like the prize money they give out people, like it's taxed 20% the same way betting is, which is again another problem that the federation is supposed to be lobbying against.
But
But
they're standing by it. It's like they're reinforcing the norm. It's like it's one of those
so
things for
yeah,
like recognizing the federation in its current state does everyone a disservice, including the federation, because one, not only will they not like actually try and do anything differently, but at the exact same time, it's like they're not doing anyone any favors, right? Because if the whole point of like having a federation and having a voice is to be able to speak out against like the issues with the scene, because that's the first thing. You have to make it a baseline thing, right? We want ideally the same way we'd want like our football players to be treated like to an international standard, or they get the same opportunities that other people get, right? Imagine if we were taxing football player salaries like they were gamblers, like it wouldn't make sense, right? So it's like, so you win a tournament, bro, like you win a trophy, you win the you win AFCON, like the money the government usually, like, because no one gets paid for international football, but generally like people get paid like by whatever the government for as a bonus or whatever.
yeah,
Imagine that gets taxed.
it's
Like
like Kina Olunga come back from AFCON,
yeah.
and Uhuru is like, everyone shika 2 million, but I'm taking back 20%.
Like
No.
it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
So it's like tax is cool. Like we're not trying to get a tax exemption or anything, but it's like just do it like a normal, like a job, like any other job, just like it is everywhere else in the world. But not only that, it's like there literally isn't because I don't recognize the federation, right? Because in my eyes, if it's not doing anything for anyone, what is the point? Like, what literally, there is no need to have a federation. And something else, right? It's like you get a license from, like, I don't even understand, like, the whole concept of having to get a license from an organization that has, in my eyes, nothing to do with. Because here's the thing, right? Being in a position where you're starting an organization to oversee something where you know nothing about what's going on, like literally all you care about is the paperwork and the money moving. It's completely pointless. It's a shell of an organization, in my opinion, right? Because there's like no one I know who's in the scene. Because here's the thing. Like another thing, like I don't want it to sound like this. Of course, it's like it's one of those things where how some people are like, yeah, they didn't talk to me, so like it's an ego thing. Like they didn't talk to me, so I don't recognize it. It's not about that, right? If I ask Davey, who's like big in the fighting scene, like the fighting esports scene, right? If they haven't talked to him, right? They haven't talked to the guys in the COD scene. They haven't talked to guys in the FIFA scene, right? It's like, who are you talking to, bro? Like, unless you're playing competitive cards, and I'm not even talking about Hearthstone, like literal cards, like the queens, the jacks. Like, what else is there? Like, as far as I'm concerned, the organization, the fact that it exists and doesn't exist, literally means the same thing, right? And up until we can get past that point, there's literally no future for the federation.
No, I do have to say the issues like we're experiencing also like as gamers. I've seen it in a couple of other, especially the fighting scene. I remember I saw like there's a UFC thing hosted by KU TV, and I remember talking to one guy who used to fight there. We met at like an audition or something, and I remember him telling me like,
You mean MMA or like the video game UFC?
no, like MMA, like fighting.
MMA, okay.
Yeah.
Like IRL fighting.
Yeah.
Mixed martial arts, yeah.
Yeah. It was, I don't know what happened to, but I remember KUTV used to broadcast it. So I don't know. He was telling me like because like what we are trying to like explain here today with this federation, they also have, I would say they also have the same problem where there's someone who claims to represent them, but man, they're being paid poorly. Hey, dude, I don't know. He told me some of the injuries those guys were getting, and I was like, when you guys don't have like regulations and stuff, because like what he was explaining to me how they fight, I was like, nah, man, that is not what happens. Like, you need to have that. So I think it's not an isolated issue. I think it speaks to the broader problems we have as a nation of corruption, joblessness, so people, taking advantages of new and upcoming industries. So I think this is a bigger issue, not only esports, but generally it's a nationwide. It seems to be.
This is something I alluded to earlier. Yeah.
Oh man,
It's like like with something else. Another thing that like, it's like I was talking to Davey about like where's the federation type thing, yeah. It's like, look, like, the biggest, I think one of the biggest issues, the biggest stigmas around esports is it is gambling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, ideally you'd expect like the people in the scene to try to distance themselves from like these betting companies, because not only does it like bring a bad rap to you, but generally, like I'm old enough to at this point where like it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
But like imagine like the kids who are growing up, like the 13, 14, 15-year-old kids who are getting into different esports, they want to play competitively, right? And this the parents think these kids are they're developing an addiction, like a gambling problem, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like in a position like that, I want to first of all, like
Mm-hmm.
a federation to be going out of their way to like distance the scene from that scene, and also putting in regulations, right, for what kind of tournaments that can be run. Like for example, like there's been a ton of FIFA tournaments sponsored by various betting companies. I don't know, OD Bets, Betika. There's like they crop up every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's one of those things for like just for the sake of the longevity of the scene, right? Not even longevity, but having a better arc of like growth. Yeah. Like if I was in a position like that, it's like, okay, listen, you cannot like if you're gonna, it's cool to do a collaboration as a team, but you can't literally have a tournament that is like literally the Betik or the ODBet or the Sport Pesa FIFA tournament, because that just makes the situation a lot worse. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
But
Like, 'cause, like,
as far as betting goes, it's for me it's not even about distancing like the scene from these companies, because betting on esports is a thing. Like you can go on the Betway website right now and bet on like a League of Legends tournament.
yeah, like no,
But
Dafa Bet were like the pioneers for that. Yeah,
yeah, but
I actually
it's
talked to
less
them a while back. Yeah.
it's less about, in my opinion, it's less about that and more about just educating people on what gaming is. Because I think that stigma stems from ignorance. People think like when guys play video games, there's no skill involved. That's why I think that's the root cause of
I think
why a lot of that stigma comes from.
this is
So
where
like
you should
if you win a
say,
game of FIFA,
Devi, this is where you should
you win a
say,
game of FIFA, it's like, sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm saying this is where you should say, i.e., Kamene. Kamene
Wow.
Goro. See, you're the one who was. Nene, so you're the one who was speaking
But
against her claims about her saying, I don't know, if it's GPS are for kids and all that bullshit. So, anyway.
but anyway,
Mm-hmm.
the point is like it's a lot of people think when you win a game of FIFA or COD or whatever, fighting games or whatever, like people think there's no skill involved. You just press a bunch of buttons, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're lucky, you win. That's most people's understanding of gaming in general, and I think that's why a lot of the stigma comes from. So it's more about just teaching people what gaming is, because I genuinely think a lot of people don't actually know how skill can factor into playing a video game.
But I mean, like you've said, to even to back up your point, this is why I appreciate like seeing the things that you guys are doing. You see, Davey, Brand the Beast, Quinaro especially, who has been really bringing the spotlight on gaming. I really appreciate this because it kind of helps to solve the problem of the stigma around video games. So, in as much as maybe the situation looks like it's fucked up, what counts is at least there's people out here doing something. Like there's people who are actually serious about this, and there's people who are taking this like in the correct direction. So yeah, man.
You're making us feel
And
like
on
superheroes, dude.
top of that, there's
No, it's
actually a
true.
lot of people.
It's not even about making you feel anything. It's the actual truth. Like that's why you guys, I keep on inviting you to the show, because I don't know anyone else who's been doing this like the way you guys have been doing it. Like your presence, like I was telling Davey in the last show we were talking, like your presence has been felt by a lot of people.
We appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that,
Mhm.
I think the mistake some young people make is
Mhm.
thinking all of these old heads have no interest in learning about this stuff or whatever. There's actually a lot of people out there who are open to learning about what this thing is. I remember a meeting we had with Kenya University Sports Association, KUSA. All the chairmen in that thing are like old 60s, whatever. But so you have to explain. So in this meeting, we were explaining to them not only like you explain to them what's like what you were showing them a game of FIFA and were explaining like you switch the player with this button and you pass blah 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 blah. Like you explain to them like they're 4-year-olds, because they genuinely have no knowledge of that. And when like these are people who are willing to learn and stuff. So it's I think there's bridging that gap, but again, like you said, there's also the problem of corruption. A few people sort of taking advantage of these non-existent industries to make a quick buck and then dip. So just I think, but I wanted to point that out because I think a lot of young guys make the mistake of thinking all these old guys, want nothing to do with gaming, whatever. A lot of these guys are actually willing to learn and find out more about what esports is all about. I think there's that disconnect as well.
And I mean, you might be, for the old guys, for the young guys, maybe trying to talk to old guys, you might be talking to a future potential investor, because some of these old guys have fucking,
man.
like, they have money and they're like, old. It just takes the right words, tell them this, that, explain what you want to do, and I'm pretty sure you might be surprised that someone is out there is willing to sponsor you and do all these kinds of things. So, like Davia said, but that's a very good point you've said, man. So don't assume that because someone is old, they're not maybe interested, So
Yeah.
yeah. Slutty hasn't spoken all this time, so let's hear his opinions today from the perspective of just a casual gamer. Slutty, is he here?
Maybe Karano can speak because he's come
Karano.
back.
I don't know. Is Karano in a position to speak? Karano.
So he left and then he there.
Yes. Yes. What was the question? Sorry.
Because you tell us, but there you haven't talked today, so you tell us your opinions on, like, what I think we've exhausted mostly everything. But what do you think is the direction what do you think that is the direction we should take as we go forward, and maybe some advice and give us
Okay.
some stuff.
Okay. Just before I begin, my apologies for bouncing up and about because I had some commitments. I was at work. I had to finish just before I come back. I think one thing I've understood is that even with interaction of like people who are in the public sector and people who are also like in their old ages, that they have there's a they have a certain personality to like how they like carrying out their things. To begin with, like guys in public sector, they have like a ego. I think, for lack of a better word,
The ego, ka ego. Is that what you meant?
yes.
Okay.
They like being pampered a lot, and especially if you have certain proposals that you'd like to make to them that have development for the country and for the youth as a whole, like how the far that you have to go to make them to understand your point, and also how much you have to commit to them. Like, for example, forgive me for using these words, like you have to lick their boots, you have to the things you have to do. They're so tiring. It gets to a point where you even give up. I know of people who had very great ideas, I think, in the like within our gaming and esports fraternity, that have given up. They're not here with us right now, and it's very unfortunate because they just saw that some things were not working in their favor. And even for the few of us that have remained, we are very lucky, just being this tenacious to just stay with all the
All the mud you have to crawl through, man.
I tell you, all the bullshit you have to deal with. I'm sorry for using that word. But
No,
yeah,
it's
It's okay, man. This show is
Yeah.
not for kids, man. This show is written clearly 18 plus.
I tell you, it's so much. It's so much. So like, even us standing here and still, pushing the gospel of esports and gaming for everyone to, invest and participate in as a whole. like it's taken a lot out of us. I won't lie. I'm sure like everyone has a story that they'd like to talk about. Like each and every one of us, Hasi, Devi, all the other events organizers,
Organizers.
Akina Nikki,
Mhm.
Triad. I can see them in the audience,
They're
and
listening. Triad is here.
a lot of other people out there. Yeah, there are so many things that we've gone through. Even just standing here talking about it, it's and I'd really like if possible, if we can all document our stories and just talk about them, so that people understand what we went through while we were in these industries. So yeah, it's a lot. What I can tell everyone is that in as much as you may see things not working, don't give up. I think synergy is really important. That's why we have that WhatsApp group for Esports Kenya. It's so that we can, see how everyone is developing the events they are running, so that we can, bolster each other, give each other support, and just keep going. Even though you see some things are not working, you don't see sponsors coming, you don't see government participating. Like, you just do your bit, just for the passion that you have, just keep going. I think that's all I can advise to my comrades here, and also those ones out there who will probably listen to this message.
It's quite some heavy words, man.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, it's shit, man.
Yeah.
But hey, it's shit.
Yeah.
I mean, me, I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say that I've been here for a long time, like on the esport, like the gaming community. But I've been gaming for a long
Mhm.
time. But
Yeah.
I've also felt, and it's not only like I've said, it's not only like esports only. There's a lot of sectors where, in fact, when I was watching that documentary, I felt bad for the runner who was, it was his last day, and then he went, and then he found out the marathon was cancelled. So, the saddening part is that guy like has to work for like 150 bob a day so that he can just get some food. And to see
Yeah.
such a person have the strength, in fact, the guy who was doing the documentary is someone who can't walk. The guy was saying, like, to see such a person push on, there was a race he did and he hadn't eaten the previous night, and he still managed to like clock in some good time. So to see such stuff and to see people passionate and pushing like what they love doing, like just having the strength to continue in the face of adversities, it's an encouragement, and it's in every field, not only like esports, even like for the people listening and for the people watching. If you in a department, or if you're in a field where you feel like things are going to shit, it's for those people who persevere. It's those people who actually bring change. So, and I think I also told this David, I think, going back to what I think I told this to Davey also, like, you might think that maybe you guys are not doing something, but for me, I remember searching, but because I did not have like access to the internet up to like until 2015 there. That's when I started even gaming online. I remember searching on YouTube Kenyan gamers, and I think the first names that popped up was Karano. I also saw you, Davey. So, and I was like, okay, so there seems to be a community, and then I saw the Nikon thing, and you see, so there's someone out there, there's a kid out there right now, trust me, who doesn't know that you people exist, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do the same thing. He or she will do the same thing, to go out there and search and be like, hey, let me search for Kenyan gamers and all this stuff, and results of Fortnite challenges, the tournaments Hershey has been hosting with I think with PSG, the Quinaro's story, Davies story, Carano's story. In fact, I think Carano's video for like the kids being arrested, he has a lot of views. So when when people see such stuff, they'll not feel alone. So
Yeah.
for me, this is just an encouragement to like all of us to continue, man. Like, don't feel like at your stuff, at your effort is not going anywhere, man. It is going somewhere. So yeah, man. Slut
Big up,
is
big up.
is Slutty back? I don't know. I think this guy is not. Let me ask him.
Hello, niko hapa, sema.
Oh, okay. Do you have any words to say?
Not really. I think it's very interesting listening to people who have dealt with them or have tried to do something in esport.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the perspective that these guys are sharing is very, very much important. I really don't have anything to add. Seems like all the information is here from at least one side. So yeah.
Jaka, you requested to speak. What's up, man? Jaka, Kwanza, have you ever been on
Yeah.
the show?
No.
What's up? Welcome. Uh-huh.
First of all, I didn't know we had a Esports Federation of Kenya.
This is what this guy was saying earlier, bro. Barely anyone knows.
And someone summarized it in the best way possible when they said they went to meet someone, and after meeting them, they were like that was just bullshit. This feels
That
like
was, yeah,
I can
that was
smell.
my colleague.
I can smell
that-
bullshit.
like
I can smell the bullshit from a mile away. This guy is
anyone
yeah.
anyone who has been in the media field, of Akina, like the Media Council of Kenya and the other groups.
In fact, I was to
Like-
mention them. It's good you are mentioning
Oh.
them. In fact, I was
Like
to mention
groups
them.
that are formed with good intentions, like legit good intentions. But the people running them and the people who are in charge, Buddha. Like wanaribu kila kitu.
I think
Like,
I think that's a problem Kenya has in general
Yes.
with sports and the creative industry in general.
True.
Music, acting, gaming, all of that stuff. There's always the guys are supposed to be running that shit like just
The
Kamanzi-
doing this.
music
Kamanzi
I've eaten.
summarized it also, like in a nice way when he said, generally we have people who are interested and want to invest.
Mm-hmm.
And James talked about how you'll have to go through like a lot of red tapes and bureaucracy. Like, let's
Just call
say-
it bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I don't know, your story imekuuma bwana.
Ni kweli.
Hey,
But
I
it's
can hear
true.
the pain.
Like,
I can hear the pain in your voice, bro.
Yeah, but I was to say that.
Yeah, as much as it is true, hey, it's just fun,
yeah,
bro.
but
Yeah.
like when we are trying to get like jobs for corporates, a lot of the old guys get the jobs not because they are good, but because they can give, what's it called? Like corporates will ask you, do you have a KRA pin? Do you have a bank account, a company bank account? Like some things that the youth will not have or never bothered following up on. So you can be the best in that field, but these guys will ask for things that you never thought about. Like for example, us when we are hosting events, we'll be like, you guys, we are having a gaming event, and it's going to be at this location. You just need maybe to register here, and you just need to pay this, and everything's okay. You can come with your stuff, and that's it. These people will start asking you, do you have a permit? Like just things to complicate your lives, and you get disheartened.
That's
So
that seems to be something, but because I was even thinking like the issue of like the way roads, there's so much nonsense. Some of these issues are solvable by just introduce a ticketing system. Stop wasting time going to the station, booked GOB. What the fuck is that, man? We're in the
Kila
21st
mtu
century.
mpaka akule. Watu
Sasa,
mpaka akule.
what
Venye Kamanzi amesema. Like
God.
people have to eat.
But that's exactly, man. If you take
Like-
away that stuff and digitize everything, some guys will stop eating, bro.
We don't give a
Hey.
fuck. I don't give a fuck about those eating.
Just-
We will.
Just you pushing that idea to digitize.
None of us do, but like those guys care very much in the positions of
A lot.
influence. and
No,
they-
I-
A lot.
you
This
know,
is why
so
we are here today
that's yeah,
to speak against
it's
this.
a-
Huh?
it's a corruption issue.
Realistically,
You know?
you could cut the Kenya government down to a tenth, and they'd still be able to function if everything was done efficiently.
Yep.
But unfortunately, people have to.
Majority of the people in the system don't want that. They don't need that.
But half the people would be redundant. That's the thing. Have you ever, boys? I went recently. We were trying to get a license renewed. Yeah. You go to an office, they tell you, do it online. You go to the website's down. Like you need to drive. Like what? You know, it's one of those things where, hey,
Teams, umepatana nayo hata wewe eh?
hey,
Teams is the shittiest website I've. Dude, you know me, I have a problem. Like I did my DL with eCitizen. And for some fucking reason, I was even asking like those guys, then why tell me to use fucking Citizen if you know it's not even going to be, like, it's not registering I have a DL? Like, what's the point of all of this nonsense? Like,
I just
bruh.
feel like the
Tell you.
expectations already low for the federation, but here we are.
My God.
Here we are.
Anyway,
But
me-
anyway, we digress.
But I was
Mhm.
just saying, first of all, I'm
Mhm.
sure a lot of people don't know Esports Federation of Kenya exists until like you start doing something that generates money. Let's say maybe you're hosting events that are really popular for gaming, and that's when they'll pop up like the Inquisitors. No one ever expects the Inquisitors.
I think
So
what we
Federation
can,
of that, okay.
I think what Halsey said is, we can, if they pop up, we just tell them, hey, you're popping up as who? We don't fucking recognize you, man. We've never
But
seen your
if they're
efforts.
registered with the government,
So you can challenge,
From my knowledge, there's never been a gaming event they've gone to and be like, "Do you have a license from ESKF?" They've never. That's something they've never done. Fortunately, to my knowledge, anyway.
Kwanza they shouldn't, say they shouldn't even dare
We're giving
me.
people ideas.
But we should stop. They might even come for me. Where you are talking about esports, hapa,
Lol.
bullet license. What this?
let them come. Let them
Are
come.
you
Anyway.
not afraid, Bona?
No, we're not afraid. I'm just saying, like, these are the nonsense you expect from such shady organizations. Anyway, but
Bloody, if it was established,
never picked that fucking thing. At least ungeka controller katikati ya map ya Kenya.
That's the logo that won that competition, bro.
Yeah.
I need someone that entered.
Yeah,
Not the
so you might have to go look for that graphic design. I mean,
Wewe when you design your shit, man. Yo.
sure,
Are the logo,
wanajuana,
are the other logos
wanajuana.
still on that website? Because Mazet, there were so many other good logos that I saw. I was just like, how was this the last one?
I course ni cousin Kevin na Nikki alisema, "Hey, it's our cousin."
Hivyo.
It's
I
our
know
cousin.
someone.
Yeah.
Ndio.
Krypton is saying don't
Cousin,
mulika
did
boy man
sijui
like
what.
that.
Brother, mtu alifanya YouTube tutorials with no dislikes. Hawezi ona dislikes.
Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. Man, this one was a good one. This one I did not speak a lot because the right people were here, thankfully. So man, thank you guys for coming through. Krypton, I see you on Twitch. Krypton is always on our Twitch. So thanks for the support there. Wayne was there earlier, says love the glasses. Ongena mimi biashara to you. We can sell you some. Haojin has been listening also on Discord. Lana LXNA. Man, you fuck hey. RCHD, the goat. That's what he's saying.
Sir.
Future World Zone says, hey, what's up? Triad was here. I see Pitches has joined in late. Sijui alikuwa wapi. Kwanza yeye ndo angekuwa na... Anyway. Nikki was a course. I think first time here. Mjaka first time here. Hersi is no new visitor. He's been here before. Karano.
Yeah.
Yep. Karano, same case. Davey, same case. Yeah, man.
guys, you guys are the coast. Keep doing. Guys are the coast. Coastal Carano is at the coast now. Those guys are doing their thing, man. There's a few guys spearheading the gaming scene at the coast. Nikki, Carano, Swahili Gamer.
Swahili Gamer.
Gambasha.
Kwanza, this guy, I keep trying to bring him on the show.
Gambasha, all these
Akuji.
guys, man.
Hey,
Nani Swahili Gamer?
Akuji bana. Kwanza you should have
That
been
guy
here.
is very difficult. Hey, wewe ni mgumu sana umpate. Yeah. I tried.
Hirsi knows the guy, bwana. You
See,
You're on the show. I'll get him here if you want to.
bring him one day, man. I don't know.
More.
This is where I say, would you like us to talk which topic? Because but then I have to give props to David because he's the one who suggested this topic today. So hats off to you. So
Big up.
do you have any other topics maybe you would want us to talk about?
well, not at the moment, off the top of my head. I felt like this would be an interesting one to discuss with some of these other guys here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, the show is always open to suggestions. Message the bot if you feel like you want to throw in like a suggestion and you don't want other people to know. If you want to contact me, to message me, because I've disabled. If you're not my friend, you can't message me because Discord is full of fucking hackers who are trying to steal.
Free Discord Nitro Classic.
Yeah, those ones. So message the bot. I'll see the messages. It's a safer way. Because I think these guys target server admins sana. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Inaonyesha tu umekuwa mkubwa bana.
Nah, man. Nah, man.
Iko
Bot
nini?
ndio secretary.
Bot ndio the in fact, though, if you're interested in coding bots, talk to Kosam. There's a guy called I am Kosam. He's a supervisor here. He's also an admin on the Watu Gaming. He's the one who coded all this magic of the bot replying
good.
this thing. Yeah. He's really good at programming. So yeah, hosting a Discord bot is not that complicated anyway, by the if you talk to him. So yeah, man. Me, I don't think I have anything to add on. Slutty, do you have Slutty? This guy keeps going.
Sema.
Do you have any? How many? You're playing God of War, ndio, eh?
I am not playing God of War. What's wrong with you?
You're playing. You're playing. You started playing it 6 minutes ago. Anyway, do you have anything to add on?
No. Not really, but I would like to encourage more topics like this. You see, like the amount of people who showed up with input, it's quite impressive. And they all have a myriad of things to say. So I think that's important. I think the sharing is nice. If anything, I would encourage you.
So are you trying to ounce me as the show host? Is that what you're saying?
Am I trying to ounce you as the show host?
Is it ounce or angst?
Yeah, I think if we can get rid of you and have the likes of Kimanzi and the rest here, we'd have something going on. But no, I'm not.
I know you, as you've heard, but there people do enjoy when you guys come over. So
Especially that Luo eloquence, bro. You're a shoe-in, bro.
who?
Brian, another Luo eloquence.
What? Me?
Yeah. No, I'm saying Slutty. He has that Luo eloquence, you know.
Oh, I do. Aye.
A myriad of things, bro. You should be hosting this podcast.
That's what I keep telling Brian.
Anyway,
We'll serve him soon, so I'm sorry.
Nah, you ain't not anytime soon. Anyway, man, I had fun. Krypton is saying fantastic conversations. But yeah, man, thank you guys for coming through. I don't think I have anything else to say. By the way, if you enjoyed this show, if you want to catch up on earlier bits, you can catch up on YouTube, rewind the video, or you could listen on the podcast platform of choice that you choose to listen podcast from. So that is Deezer, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Whatever, man, wherever you listen to podcasts from, I'm pretty sure I'll be there. So give us a follow there, give us a rating if the site allows you. And for the people listening, if you listen to the end, remember, if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to be a part of the community, join the 254 Millennial Talk, the Discord server that is. And you can also subscribe to our channel, which is Numlock, NURM Lock. And also go check out Hersey. He also streams some Fortnite stuff, I think. Davey too. I think he streams on Twitch. They're taken 254. I don't know if he's. Wait, have you been? Do you have any plans on as you?
On my personal channel, yeah, eventually. But I've just been, I don't know. A lot of things have been taking up my time over the past year or so. But yeah, eventually I will get back to it.
Yeah, Davey also does some comedy, so go check his link tree out, his Instagram. I think I've pinned his link on this server before, so go check the notice board. You should see. James Carano also has a YouTube channel. Go check him out. He does some, I don't know, what is that game I keep seeing you play?
It's Sports Manager.
Yeah, man. So go check his channel out. Slutty can go to hell. Jaka, you're welcome again. Yeah, man. I should see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.